Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Before we got a fun one for you today, a little while ago we showed you how to hover over an image or module. We did this with the hero section, have the background blur out and the info come on in, and when you take your mouse off it'll disappear again. And we did that with a bit of CSS called a backdrop filter. We've had a lot of requests, people asking if we can do it without using CSS code. And the answer is yeah, and it's really easy. So these two are done with no coding at all. Really easy. So let's get started. I'll show you exactly how. I'm going to enable my visual builder. Once enabled, I'm going to get rid of this row and we'll start from scratch. So I'm going to add a new row, little green button to add a new row. I'll throw 2 in mine, obviously throw however many columns you want in yours. Now you can use any module you want for this, you really can. It doesn't really matter what module, you can do it with multiple modules and I'll show you in a minute. Let's throw a call to action in there. I'm not going to spend much time on this, let's move this out of the way so you can see. I'll leave the title just as it is. Button title right there. There's no button, that's not going to turn up till we add it as a link. Content right here obviously. Again, I'm just going to leave that on the default for expediency. Now here in the link down below, once you put a link in for the button here, I'll just put a hashtag as a placeholder. You'll see the button actually turn up. And if you actually want to link the module itself to somewhere, you can do so with this link down below, either the same link or a different link. And always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, open it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Great. Well, next, what we want to do is put an image in the background here. Now, what we want to see first is a blurred image. So we need a blurred version of whatever image you're going to use. I'm going to go to my background, 3rd tab across. You always find background under content. Image is 3rd tab across from the left. We'll add a background image. Now, I've got 2 versions of each of these images. I've got a non-blurred one. I've got a blurred one. I'm going to add the blurred one. And we've got that, which is fine because you can read the title and the writing and everything really easy. Now, I know a lot of you must be saying, well, how do I get a blurred version of my image? Of course, I use Photoshop, so I just put mine in Photoshop and use a blur filter on there. And I know everybody doesn't have Photoshop. So I looked around, and if you go to canva.com, canva.com, it's absolutely free. And you can edit your photos and add blurs there and then download them afterwards. Just got to create a free account. No cost involved whatsoever. So there's a couple of options for you. Like I say, we're going to put the blurred one in first because that's what we want to see with the writing or not. You can do this any way round you want. I think what we're going to do is have the sharp picture first. Then when we hover over, have it blur out and the content pop up. Okay, well, I'm happy with everything on our content tab. Let's just move over to design. Not going to do anything with the text, title text and body text. You can do separately, obviously. I'm going to just change the color on that button by going into the button, flipping the little switch there, use custom styles. I'm just going to change my background color perhaps to a black. I'm going to click on the color field itself here. I'm going to pull variegated slider down a bit, opacity. So it's still dark, but you can see a bit of that hint of that image through there. Obviously, that's entirely up to you. And I'm sure you know how to create a hover effect if you want a different color when they hover over it. Just hover over, button background there, till the little icons pop up. And if there's a little arrow there, you can set one color for desktop when the mouse is not on, and a completely different color for the hover effect right there. Great, well, I'm happy with that aspect of it, but you may want to use this on tablet and mobile, and at the end of this I'll show you how you can have just a little notification for tablet and mobile that's going to pop up just on those devices to tell people they want to tap on this image for more information. So let's just go over to my design, which we're in at the moment. I'm going to go down past all the text and everything here. Sizing wise, I want to give this a minimum height. So I'm going to go down a minimum height here. I'm going to make mine a minimum or perhaps of 350 on desktop. I've just put in 350, it's put the pixel on there. And that's kind of the shape I want for my image, which is great. I'm going to add a bit of spacing at the top to bring this down into the middle a bit more. Now, if you're going to use this on tablet and mobile, you can adjust the height for both those devices if you want to. So we're using minimum height here. If you want to adjust it, hit the little cell phone type icon here. You can click on the tablet. It takes us down a tablet view there. If you want to make it deeper than that on a tablet, just put in whatever you want there. I think 350 should be okay there as well. It's entirely up to you, whatever shape you want to make yours. And similar for mobile. And make sure we can see all that text. That's going to work fine on mobile for me. Great, well let's go back to our desktop and we'll make the magic happen. First thing I want to do is just scoot this all down just a little bit. We can do that with spacing down below. Give it a bit of padding on the top. I'm going to say perhaps 10%, 10 at the percent sign. I think I can up that to maybe 15. Of course, styling's entirely up to you. Yeah, that works absolutely fine for me. Great, well let's make this magic happen now. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back into the row that this is sitting in. I'm sure anybody that's watched any of my other hover effects videos will know what we're going to do next. This module is sitting in column 1, the top one here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go down to the background. Third tab. Hit the plus. I'm going to put the clean version, non-blurred version of our image in there. Now, of course, you can't see it because our module's on top. So once we've done this, we can make the hover effect happen. So I'm going to save that back to the main row settings. I'm going to go back into our module here. I'm going to go to my design tab and down to filters. We look down here, we've got one called opacity. That's the amount that you can see of this. So initially, I don't want to see any of this. I just want to see a nice clean image of this crazy robot guy that's generated AI image with Night Cafe there, and find a link to that down below if you want to do AI images. Then when they hover over it, hit the little arrow just like we did before. Click on the hover state. So when the mouse is on it, I want that to disappear, and I want our blurry one to come back in like that. So they can read the text, click on the button if they need to. Perfect. Now the time it takes to get from desktop version to blurry version by Divi is 300 milliseconds, which is pretty quick. It's just under a third of a second. I like to slow mine down for a bit of drama. So if you want to do that, go over to your advanced, roll down, you'll find transitions. There's the default 300 mils. I'm going to slide mine all the way up to 2 seconds, which is 2000 milliseconds. If you want it slower than that, just type in whatever value you want. I think 2 is going to work for me there. Don't want any delay. I want it to happen or start happening as soon as the mouse touches it. Transition speed curve I tend to go to for my hover effects is ease in, ease out. They'll all work, and some are better than others in certain situations. That's my little go-to guy for hover effects. Great, well if we've done everything correctly now, this should work fine. Let's save the page changes. And let's exit the visual builder. We'll go on down to our little image there. When I hover over, it's going to take 2 seconds to fade in with that blurred image in the background, giving the effect that our image is blurring out. When we take it off, it's going to take 2 seconds to roll back out to that nice, crisp, clear image. And of course, they can roll over the little button right there and do what they need to do. And that's a really nice effect. Now, like I said earlier, if you're going to use this on tablet and mobile, it'll work absolutely fine. If I just hit my F12 key, I've got the Chrome Inspector here. Most browsers have this nowadays. Let's put my responsive devices on. Here it is on an iPhone. There's our little fella. If you tap on him, your info is going to come up. Tap off of him, it's going to go back to how it was. Like I say, it works fine, but of course, people are not going to know that they've got to tap on this image unless you tell them. unless I accidentally tap on it and something happens like that. So to fix that, Divi makes it very easy for us. I'll show you exactly how. Let's enable the visual builder again. Okay, just to show you how quickly this can be done without me talking you through it, I'm going to do another one here and I'll show you how to create a little notification for responsive devices. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little image in the background. We're working on the second column here, content, background. I want this to be a nice clear version of whatever image I'm using. That one right there. Great. Let's save that. Save the row settings. Of course, you can't see anything because there's nothing in this. We used a call to action before. Let's just use a little blur module this time, perhaps. Leaving everything as it is. I'm going to use an icon instead of an image. Let's have a people icon. That'll do nicely. Obviously, if you want to put a link in, you can do. I'm leaving it just as it is. Now we're going to put the background in. Third tab. And this wants to be the blurred version of the image or the background of whatever module you're putting in there. Fantastic. I'm going to go over to my design there. I'm going to make it the same size as the other one, which is a minimum height of 350. And as I showed you before, you can change this for tablet and mobile if you want to. Now I'm going to roll down spacing. Let's give it 5% top and bottom. And maybe 10% left and right. Let's make that text so we can actually see it. In the text, it'll do both the heading and the body. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to flip mine from dark to light. And of course, you can change everything down here individually if you want different text and title. That's great. Now we just need to create our hover effect, still in design, down to filters. Opacity initially down to 0, so we've got the nice clear image. Roll over, get a little arrow up, hover effect tab, bring it all the way back. Now we want to set the timing for it. Let's flip it back to desktop mode. Over in transitions, it's over under the advanced tab. I'm going to slide mine up all the way, or you can type in any value you want there. I'm going to flip that from ease in, ease out. Easily done. That's that one done. Now I want a little notification that just says tap on image for more info. So let's add a new little row right here. A little plus to add a new row. I'm going to use a single column for this. I'm going to use a little text module all the way down the bottom there. Let's say tap on image, more information. I'll just move this out of the way. You can see it right there. All I'm going to do with this, we've got a dark background. Go over to my design, the actual text. I'm going to make it white in color. I'll roll down. I'm going to pop it in the middle. Great. I'm just going to save that. Now this row, I think it'd be a good idea for this to be on top of our images there. So I'm going to left click on the little cross for the row itself. Drag it up above these two and release. Now I want to tell it, this row, I only want to see this row on tablet and mobile. I think I'll take any padding away top and bottom so it's not taking up quite as much real estate, because you won't see it on desktop anyway once I've done this. Let's just go into that row, take any padding away. Into the row, design, spacing, take any padding away top and bottom, just put a 0 there, hit the chain. Fantastic. Now let's tell this row we only want to see it on tablet and mobile. So I've clicked on my advanced tab, going to go down to visibility, disable on desktop. It grays it out a little bit just to let us know on desktop when we're within the builder here that it's there. We should be good to go. Let's save the changes now. We'll save our page changes. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And we'll exit the visual builder. Now the first thing you're going to notice is there's no tap for more information here because we've disabled it on desktop. You're only going to see that on tablet and mobile. Make sure that our little things are working here. Working fine. That one's working fine too. Let's hit my F12 key and take a look on tablet and mobile. Here it is on an iPad Air. And you'll notice that tap on image for more information is now visible up there. Of course, we can tap on the image. Same with this one here. And it should be there when we look on mobile also. Let's look on an iPhone 12. Tap on image for more information. Fantastic. So there we have it. There's how to create that same blur effect as we did before, using two images rather than backdrop filter blur CSS coding. And of course you can use this for your hero sections and things as well if you want to. So I hope that's answered that question. I hope you enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video just like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.